Let's bring you this conversation now. EFF leader Julius Malema says he will not go down without a fight, vowing to challenge his conviction all the way to the Constitutional Court. Malema was found guilty of all charges in his high-profile firearm discharge matter. The incident occurred at his party's 5th anniversary celebrations at a rally in Mdantsane back in 2018. His co-accused and former bodyguard, Adrian Snyman, was acquitted on both charges against him. Let's get more now from the party, and we speak to the EFF's Member of Parliament, Mazwi Blose. Mr. Blose, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. Let's begin with some of the reactions, particularly from parties that are represented in Parliament. The Democratic Alliance wasting no time yesterday telling us that this is actually what Mr. Malema has brought onto himself, because his party is always calling for chaos, and it is always almost in trouble in terms of violence. And they seem to suggest that it's also part of his arrogance that we are here today where he has been found guilty by a court of law. What's your reaction to those kinds of characterizations?
Well, afternoon to you, Toli, and viewers at home. I mean, look, Toli, those kind of reaction really prove our point. When we say this was not a court case about justice, but it was a political assassination, a character assassination on the president. I mean, the DA is a right-wing party, highly aligned to Afriforum and all right-wing formations in the country that are diametrically opposed to the EFF stance in terms of land expropriation and you know, bringing back the economy to the hands of the people. And this is why they are excited and they are happy that the president has been found guilty in a case that really the states failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And this is why we are saying that this case is nothing about seeking justice. This case has got nothing to do about, you know, doing things right, but it has everything to do about politics. It's a magistrate of the East London Magistrate Court who was just seeking politics. The character or the attitude of the president was not a trial. So you can be president respond to some of the issues. Not up to us as ordinary citizens, and even the magistrate should not even take that into consideration. What was a trial were charges that were leveled against him. So you can't say you are finding him guilty because he answered questions in a manner that is not befitting the magistrates or any other person in society. That's not what was a trial. And then we have indicated as the EFF when we see such statement from the DA, because it proves our point that this is a racially motivated case against the president of the EFF.
Let's talk about the personal attacks on the judge or the magistrate. The leader of the EFF was quite clear that she is acting in a way that is racist, and I think to some extent almost connecting her directly to Afriforum. Does the EFF have any proof that Magistrate Twanet Olivier is a member of Afriforum?
Well, she is a member of the Afriforum. We've been told that, and then if she's disputing those facts, she must come forward and pronounce her stance against Afriforum. In the courtroom, Newzroom was there. There were members of the Afriforum there who were, you know, after the verdict was issued, the guilty verdict was issued on the president. They were the first ones who were to celebrate, who were doing interviews, who were writing on their WhatsApp groups. What was Afriforum doing in court? So well, she is a member of
party. I apologize for interrupting you, but no, they are the complainants. They were there to, I guess, watch for themselves, just as the EFF leadership was there to see this case for themselves against their party's leader.
Yeah, we don't dispute that, but we are saying that if the magistrate is saying that she's not a member of the Afriforum, then she must come out and say that she's not a member. She must dispute those facts. Otherwise, if she remains silent, we've been given information. That's what we have on good authority. And if she needs to prove us otherwise, then she must come forward and tell us that. But anyway, Xoli, if you were following the case in the past 7 years, the criticism from the EFF and the magistrates is not the first time. We highly criticize the magistrate for constantly coming late to court, and this was even before there was a guilty verdict of on the president. So we've been that we are saying is that this magistrate, because of the color of the skin, she has gotten away with a lot. If that magistrate was a black female, there would have been a lot of criticism, even in how she was reading her judgment, the 3 days that she took to deliver that judgment and everything else. There's a whole lot of incompetence. She couldn't even read her own judgment. She would come to court and ask for breaks because there were missing papers that she needed to go and find here, and it was just a mess, truly. And we are saying that because of the color of her skin, which is what is protecting her and which is her shield, she's not receiving any criticism. In fact, people now are saying that no, the magistrate must be protected because this has happened before. What? But if that was a black magistrate, we'd be here different stories, and that's what we are bringing in the forefront as the EFF.
Yeah, look, I think we can all remember her apologizing, particularly for her late arrival at court, and so that part, I think it is a well-established fact that at some point she did apologize for her own personal conduct. So let's talk about the future of the leader of the EFF. If you read what has been written after the verdict, political observers are saying this is the beginning of the end. His personal image, including his career, is now shattered. Do you take that on board, or do you think that that kind of analysis is overzealous?
But probably, how many graveyards must the president of the EFF have? How many times has the media buried the president of the EFF? You know, Xoli, we can go to the archives now. We can find a graveyard with the name Julius Malema. That was dug and placed there by some of our political opponents. It's not the first time, Xoli. He was buried even in his days of the ANC Youth League. So nothing has changed. The political commentators have always wanted for his blood. I mean, he was taken to the Oval Office and he was reported there and he was called all sorts of names, a criminal, someone who deserved to be arrested and all of that. It is not the first time, Xoli. We have went through past this. The president of the EFF has gone past through this. People have called for the death of the EFF many times before. So we are unshaken. It's something that we've gone through and we are ready to keep on fighting. So the president of the EFF remains strong. We are still fighting this battle. This is only just another loophole within the fight. But as we've indicated, we are taking this all the way to the Constitutional Court. We are not going to let it ride because we are not going to allow racist right-wing organization to thrive and to have victory over the EFF or its president. So the president is strong. We are not shaken by all those commentaries. It's just people who just want to be relevant and want to come to TV and grandstand using the name of the EFF because that's what the name of the EFF does. It feeds families. It gives people a platform that they would have never gotten. So they come to these platforms and any other platform and, predicts the date of the EFF, which they have no evidence of and which they have no control of.
Mazwi Blose, Member of Parliament from the benches of the EFF, thank you very much for your time reacting to that judgment that was handed down earlier this week.